Well, a big hello everybody and welcome along to season number 2 of HK Sailing. We're just about to venture off on what should be one of the all-time epic adventures. Currently down here in the basin as we wait for a southerly change to come through that's expected to come through tonight. It's going to put us out of play for tomorrow, so there'll be boat projects that we'll be doing tomorrow. But Wednesday morning, we're looking at around 20 to 25 knots worth of wind coming from the south, which is a beautiful sort of a breeze for going north. We're going to have seas of about 2.5 to 3 metres. We can live with that. So we're going to make our way up the coast of New South Wales. Hope you can stick around. This is going to be an adventure of a lifetime. I've got a couple of months off work, which is fantastic. So we're going to make the most of it and see what we can do. The aim is to get to the Sunshine Coast. Will we do it? Probably know about episode number 7 or something. Let's get this underway. Well, a big hello everybody. It's now Wednesday and we're still sitting here in Pittwater. Tuesday morning when I woke up, I could see some clouds out to the east that were quite lumpy. There's a few cumulonimbus clouds around. The Bureau was saying around about 25 knot gusts up to about 30 knots, but south of Nora Head. And the southerly change wasn't expected to get until around about 11 o'clock, which it ended up not. However, the models suggested to me, if you have a look at these models, that that's 34 knots up past Newcastle. And it was going to be a 14-hour trip to Newcastle, so I elected not to go. Unfortunately now, it looks like I might be stuck for about 7 days to about midway through next week. It's still pouring rain. The squalls are quite gnarly. Probably about 25, 26 knots worth of wind in the squalls. That's not our problem, nor is the constant rain. It's the 2.5 to 3 metre seas that are out there at the moment. Just not worth it. I'm going to hang around for a week, stuck on board. I've actually come from the basin back to my mooring because at least I had mobile coverage here. I've got the Starlink, but I can't use that too much because there's no sun for the next couple of days to power up my battery, so I have to be sparing with the amount of power I'm using as well. So that's where it stands at the moment. Lots of rain, horrible conditions, and hopefully next time we speak we're heading out to sea. Good morning everyone. It's 2 a.m. Thursday morning and we're going. I've got the main sheet up. I've double reefed the main just to err on the side of caution. Not a massive amount of wind, but there's going to be some swell as soon as we get off the coast. That's my alarm going off. So we are ready to go. I'm about to drop the mooring buoy and we're going to see if we can't get ourselves to Newcastle or up Port Stephens. I'll be happy with either or. Well everyone, the sun is starting to come up. The sun's probably overstating it a little bit because it's cloudy and there are a lot of squalls coming through. Most of the morning I've just been running one reef in the main, but we've just had a whole heap of 30 knot gusts pumping through. The sea state here is not what they said it was. It's all over the joint. It is ugly as hell. So the boat's bouncing around and playing silly buggers. Running the motor just to try and put a bit of charge back in my batteries because it's not like we're going to get much sun. We're on target to get into Port Stephens at about 4 o'clock. So if that eventuates, I'll be a very, very happy camper. A couple of little things have gone wrong, nothing too dramatic, stuff we had to fix on the fly. We found that, and now it's just wait for the time to tick down. There's another big gust. Okay, I'll bring you back in when I've got more. A lot of solid gusts coming through. We're almost off for a beam Swansea. Probably in the next half hour will be a beam Swansea. Then we're heading into the tricky area that Newcastle Harbour has a lot of coal ships that are just sitting out off the coast at the moment. Most of them are stationary, but I'm not sure if there's any coming in or out of the harbour, so I keep checking AIS to make sure that we're not going to run into anyone by mistake. We are making really good time, pulling about 8 knots at the moment. It's not the most comfortable ride in the world, but by God, it's quick. Yeah, been thrown around a fair bit, but you get that on the big gigs, don't you? Anyway, I'll let you know if anything major happens. Just all our wind just disappeared for some reason. It has been so erratic on the wind, absolutely so erratic. There it goes, getting back in. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get back to steering. Okay, update time. Don't know if I'm doing the update to inform or just to keep myself sane. It has been a really testing passage. At the moment we've got 6 to 7 knots of wind. Then when a squall, and I'll show you why in a sec. Then when a squall comes through, it's pumping out 30. So I've got the motor back on just to keep making way. We're just approaching the coal ships now. You won't see them, it's too far away. But there's 6 of them sitting out here that I just need to keep an eye on. But the reason why we've got no wind at the moment is take a look at this. That giant squall, that squall is sucking up all of our wind. We've just been hit one after the other. When the squalls aren't here, it's actually quite a pleasant sail. It's quite nice. But when they hit, oh my lord. So we've got flappy sails at the moment, and flappy sails are unhappy sails. But we've got the motor on. We're still doing, what are we doing, 5.5 knots. Okay, so we're in a bit of current here at the moment. I could turn out of it, but I don't want to turn into that squall, so we might just have to live with it. Where GPS is saying we should get to Port Stephens about 2 o'clock, so look, we're in no rush. As long as we get there before last light, I'm a happy camper, so we'll just see how it plays out. Anyway, I'll call you back in when either I'm bored or I've got something more to tell you. Funny, you can barely see those ships on screen. They are so much closer than they look. And if ever the Bureau of Meteorology is giving away show bags, don't take their rulers, because there's got to be 3 metre plus swell out here today. It is friggin' hardcore when the sets come through. But you know, this boat's really good and she's handling it well. A couple of little things have played up. The solar panels, I'll show you. You can see the rod came out of its holder, so I need to screw that back in, but it's moving around a bit, so I've jimmied that up just to try and give it some support. And from up top, I've done that, so it seems to be holding. It's not the end of the world, but you know, it would be nice to keep my solar panels, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm 5 nautical miles from the heads at Port Stephens. I've just had a gust come through and clocked 40 knots apparent. The boat rounded up. It was, rounded up, but you know, it was still stable and everything like that, which is good. It gives me great confidence in the boat. But you know what? I just really sus on the Bureau of Meteorology, because this is so much heavier than what they predicted. Had I have known that, I probably would have stayed in port. But for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, and the best thing about this is I know that the boat can handle it. Skipper can't. No, we're going okay. Now that's a sight for sore eyes. Right in the heart of Nelson's Bay. Would you believe it? Well, hello one and all. Welcome along to Nelson Bay in Port Stephens. It's the next day. I have slept. I actually slept for nearly 12 hours. Problem was, before I left Pittwater, I couldn't sleep. My mind was just a buzz. So basically I'd been up for about 48 hours by the time we got into port, which, man, I really slept hard last night. But it was good. Had a great night's sleep. Today it's all about fixing everything that's got broken during that trip. There's not a great deal, but there's work to be done, and get ready to do the high tide program for today, but we'll talk about that next episode. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. If you could do all that regular stuff, if you want to subscribe, if you want more of this content, definitely please hit the like button, because that helps out the channel a great deal, and all of those sorts of things. If you want to share the video with people you think that might enjoy it, I'd love if you did that too. But either way, I'm really glad that you took the time to watch this. I do appreciate it. Have a great one, and we'll look forward to catching up with you when we leave Nelson Bay and head further north.